hear anything about Fort DeSoto and about Pinellas County Sheriff's Office flying overhead there. Hashtag HeyJB from Deb Peterson. How come Dog the Bounty Hunter discovered the Fort DeSoto info, but the FBI didn't? And let's make this perfectly clear. Yeah. There is no indication whatsoever that the FBI didn't have this information. The FBI wouldn't tell us if they had this information. It's of course sensitive information to the investigation that is currently ongoing. And so, Josh,
but on that same token, they just received the surveillance video from the park, correct, within the last day.
That's recent.
So if they, that begs the question, why didn't they have that video a week ago or 2 weeks ago if they were to know about it? I don't know.
I'll read from Nico here one more time for those of you just joining us here in the last several minutes, that the video from the campground between September 6th and September 8th was sent to the FBI yesterday, Tuesday, September 28th, about 3 weeks later. Yeah. So why the delay? Is it because that's without getting too much into it, why could there have been a delay in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office sending over that surveillance video to the FBI? Was it just because they were just alerted to this recently, or was it because the FBI didn't consider it important information at the time, or important video or evidence at the time? These are the questions now that are going to be asked repeatedly here, Josh.
Well, keep in mind my contact with Dog's team when they sent out the information to me saying that on 2 different occasions the laundry went there. This was according to a source that they had a tipster that brought them there in the first place. They said that they were there on 2 separate occasions. They were spotted there. And as we peel apart the onion, so to speak, and get the firm facts on that, there were 2 different times that were mentioned, but only record for one. Now, I believe the attorney said that a reservation was made and then canceled for the first set of dates, and that would put them there the second set of dates, the 6th through the 7th. The attorney says the 6th through the 7th. So some of that information that the Dogs team got early on was factual, even though it came from a tipster, and obviously we had to look into it. So that puts a lot more information and interest into the Fort DeSoto campground.
Reading through some more of your questions, Deb. Thanks a whole lot. We'll put your question and comment away. And
can I make another point?
Yeah, absolutely. All yours.
The cell phone too. The cell phone was something that we spotted several days ago about a phone being purchased on a specific date, and now that's starting to come out. Now, if this is something the FBI knew and already paid a visit to the store and got some surveillance video of that incident or that situation, then there's it could be that the FBI already has all this stuff, and then it just starts to percolate through social media and through everybody else's sources to finally get up to the surface for the public to learn.
Josh Benson, folks, you're going to see him, everybody, here on WFLA News Channel 8 here really in about 13 minutes from now. Josh, we're going to continue taking hashtag HJB, hashtag HeyJosh comments and questions here, and maybe I can sneak in one last one for Josh.
Sure.
Before we say farewell to Josh here, and I'm just reading through them here. Everybody, bear with me. This is just Peter Wacklin, hashtag WFLA now, hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh. Is Dog the Bounty Hunter taking the lead on the search?
No.
Or is the FBI still in charge?
Keep in mind, Dog the Bounty Hunter is an independent investigation. They do their own thing. They have no relation to law enforcement whatsoever.
And I'm sure that there's conversations if they're on location there together, and I'm sure that there's Dog the Bounty Hunter works with local law enforcement and with law enforcement in general. So not to say that they don't communicate, but to say that he's taking the lead on the search.
Yeah, not true.
No, not anywhere close to true.
The FBI has a very good reputation in managing searches. Obviously, the highest agency out there to do it. So, not the case. But it doesn't mean we're not getting information from their team. We take it and we look into it and we want to report it. We want to confirm it, just like we did with the reservations to the park yesterday. So that's information that comes in. We try to distill it down and prove it factual.
Josh, before we let you go,
sure,
we have team coverage on the way here in our 4 o'clock newscast here. Big thanks to Peter for your comment here. But before we let you go, Josh,
yep,
what's coming up here at 4 o'clock, and what are you going to be monitoring on social media and here in the area in the hours ahead?
Well, I think the challenging part now is there are fewer updates. I had heard earlier the authorities are back out to Carlton Reserve and continuing their search out there. But as you saw in the last day or two, there's really been no searching really going on. And that's frustrating for a lot of viewers to watch. You guys want to talk about updates and you want to know what's going on. You want endless, action, so to speak. And that just doesn't happen in a case like this. We just have to take breaks. And that's why I think now that we're going to start seeing lookalikes and stories, Dogs team reporting they're getting a lot of tips about the Appalachian Trail out in Pennsylvania. Those are things that are coming in that I'm learning about from my source. And it's just, that's going to help trigger more lookalike spottings and sightings. And that can complicate it because obviously we can't go through and verify each one of those sightings. People are going to go online in their own detective work to try to say, yeah, that was him. We spotted him. But you just got to, you got to not go down that road. And obviously until we have some firm understanding of any of the legitimacy of these sightings from law enforcement, that will be the end-all be-all when it comes to this case.
Folks, you can catch them on WFLA News Channel 8 at 4 o'clock. That's your NBC station here in the Tampa Bay area where we are here in Florida. That's your, again, 8 on your side team, ready to provide you with team coverage here, Josh.
And whatever I have on the case, I go to Twitter with it. So twitter.com/WFLA Josh. I put everything I have right there for you.
All right, Josh Benson, everybody. Thanks a lot, folks.
Take care.
All right, so let's get to... we're going to bring in 8 on your sides, Justin Shecker here in about 10 or so seconds. Let's bring in Justin now. Got to hit a couple of buttons here and make sure that we're all good to go. And there, just like that, folks, we've got sitting down now, 8 on your sides, Justin Shecker. Justin, I'm going to get you right up there on that microphone there, sir. And welcome. Welcome to WFLA Now. And Justin, what are you monitoring right now?
I was out at Fort DeSoto last night. A lot of the attention the last day has been focused on this visit from the Laundry family, which we confirmed through their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, as well as the public records request we had yesterday as breaking news, JB, showing that the Roberta Laundry had that reservation from the 6th, which was Monday, Labor Day, through the 8th, that Wednesday. Their attorney came back and told us the family was there and they left, the 3 of them on the 7th, which would have been that Tuesday. And then again, we saw the breaking news. I know you're talking with Josh that the the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office has confirmed to 8 on your side. They turned over surveillance video related to this Laundry family visit to the FBI as part of their investigation. So a fast moving situation, JB. I was out there yesterday on the ground, Fort DeSoto. There were campers there who saw there were a few media crews there and they were all, interested. What were we doing there? And people were, couldn't believe we were there because of this story that were kind of piecing this timeline. What happened with the Laundry family after Gabby disappeared? And that was this visit we have confirmed to this a beautiful park there in southern Pinellas County.
Let's get to this comment that just came in. We got a lot of comments in the queue, but this one is very timely. So from Jennifer Souza, #AJB, any more reports about the helicopter that just arrived? All right, I'm going to bring up our map here, and very interesting. So Justin, we were just talking about how right as we began our stream, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper was taking off from, and I want to make sure I have this right, from St. Pete Clearwater International Airport there in Pinellas County, and started making this big loop, crossing I-275, crossing over the entryway to Tampa Bay, and did go around Fort DeSoto. But interesting of note here, it has continued north. And okay, so now turning around. This is interesting to watch. So the Pinellas County chopper kind of did a big J loop around Fort DeSoto Park, where you're looking at here, everybody, in the center of your screen. And now they've gone up north past St. Pete Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Have you ever been to St. Pete Beach? It's just absolutely
Fort DeSoto
magnificent.
Is pretty up there too, JB.
Yeah, Fort DeSoto is beautiful. Treasure Island. Yep. But right now, speaking of Treasure Island, and between Treasure Island and Madera Beach, that's where the chopper is kind of circling around. So what this could be is the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper doing routine surveillance or a routine flight, or they've responded to a couple of different calls from the air. There's no indication at this time that the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper being in the air is connected to Brian Laundrie. But it's interesting to note that their first stop was Fort DeSoto campground.
So one thing, when I talked to some of the campers out there yesterday, they said it would have been Monday night. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. It would have been Monday night that they had heard a helicopter fly over, which confirmed what we saw about the flight records, JB, showing that the chopper had flown over then. And again, obviously, the big news today that the sheriff's office has turned over that surveillance video. I mentioned yesterday there's also, a toll booth going into the park. So I wonder if there's any records there with the license plate and whatnot. And I did speak to one gentleman who is at a campsite a few spots down from the laundries. He told me he has no recollection of seeing Brian or his parents, but he believes he saw their maroon truck with the camper attached to the back as he was leaving with his wife on the morning of September 7th, JB. So that fits in this timeline confirmed by the attorney. At least one other camper did not see the family, so to speak, but he believes he remembers seeing their red maroon van with that white camper attached to the back of it.
Let's a lot of commenters here asking, what is the update? What is the update? Well, it's on the bottom of your screen. Two significant, well, really three, we could say significant pieces of information. Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for Brian Laundrie, confirming that there was a new phone. Burner phone might as well have been trending on Twitter because so many people were asking about a potential burner phone, whether or not there was a burner phone purchased by the Laundrie family. And he didn't. Now, Stephen Bertolino didn't use the actual term burner phone, but did confirm to News Nation's Brian Enton that a new phone was purchased, but that Brian left it and that it's now in the possession of the FBI. The other piece of information that we learned is that the Fort DeSoto surveillance video, that there's video that is of note here, of note enough that it was given from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office to the FBI, and that occurring yesterday, 3 weeks after the visit here to Fort DeSoto. That in and of itself is interesting. We could break that down over the next half hour to an hour. And then, of course, we know now that there is feet on the ground, boots on the ground, as far as this independent investigation. Dog the Bounty Hunter and a couple of others here, members of law enforcement or former members of law enforcement. It's really former members of law enforcement that are on the ground here, and they are searching the area. And I want to make this clear. Fort DeSoto isn't just this strip that you see here.
It's massive. I must have walked close to a mile or two yesterday, JB, just along the beach side. That is kind of the inner, I guess I'm going to call it the channel side with the waterfront beach camp areas where the campground areas where the Laundries had the reservation. It's like a long kind of U shape. You go down, JB, comes around, and it's like, must be 2-3 miles of just beautiful sandy beaches. And there's obviously some of the smaller islands off of that. But you're looking at this area here is the waterfront campground area where the Laundries had that reservation. And again, their attorney tells us they were there at least for that one night, JB, from the 6th to the 7th, while the public record said they had the reservation for the 2 nights, Labor Day Monday through that Wednesday. And again, fitting in this timeline, JB, that is, again, just later that week, that Saturday night, this whole investigation got going when Nicole Schmidt contacted police on Long Island that the Laundrie family had this camping trip days before this whole story became a national obsession. And
I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. Camping after a cross-country or near cross-country road trip where you've been on the road for 2 months, coming home and going camping after your fiance is no longer with you, was with you for every day of that road trip, and then all of a sudden wasn't. Listen, it strikes me as peculiar. Very strange.
So a lot of people does. The one thing some of the campers were telling me who are regulars there, this was Labor Day Monday. This family didn't get this reservation after he got home the 1st. They may have had, we keep that in mind. Again, the question is, people want to was, what did they know? What do they know? And when did they know it? And if they went this Labor Day, this camping trip, again, it raises eyebrows to think, they're out there camping while you have the Petitio and Schmidt families, reality
freaking out about
where's our
daughter? And you're camping? Let's make s'mores. Hey, you got the Hershey's chocolate and the graham crackers? Yeah. It's just.
And again, we should remind this point again. The parents have not been charged. They have not been named. Now we've brought up the peculiarity that they have not done any public appeals to help find their son they say is missing. We know the Gabby's family says he's out in hiding somewhere, consistent with some of the dog reports. But again, the parents have not been charged. But, I've reported here the first time they really spoke to Northport police was that Friday night when they said, hey, we don't know where our son is. And there was this period of silence there after the 11th till the following Friday, where Northport wanted to talk to them and they remained silent. And you saw that quote yesterday, JB, from the Petitio Schmidt attorney. They didn't help us find Gabby. They're sure is not going to help us find Brian. That was, to me, was probably one of the most important quotes from the news conference yesterday.
And again, the attorney, Stephen Bertolino, confirming that there was a camping trip. Yes. Like this isn't now like some figment of our imagination.
No, we have the public record and their attorneys saying, hey, look, they were there in this critical 10-day window from when Brian returned and when the family reported their daughter missing. And it's trying to piece together what happened in that time frame.
And again, 3 in, 3 out. Now the family, again, confirmed by Stephen Bertolino, the attorney, the whole family was there. So so Chris and Roberta were there. Brian was there. They went there for the 6th and the 7th, and then they were gone.
Quote, they all left. That was his exact.
That's what he said. That's what he said. And listen, he could be passing along that information from on behalf of the family, of course, that has brought him on. But we will find out more, hopefully, as to whether or not Brian was there and did in fact leave on the 7th. Justin, I know we had to get you going here by 4 o'clock here.
I got a few more minutes.
Okay.
Wait on a call back, JB. We can track these developments. And I know our colleague Nico Clemens is also headed that way. He's working some angles today. So
let me just say this. Let me just say this. And I'm just going to speak for me. This is what I do on stream. Sometimes I'm just going to speak for me. If I went on a cross-country road trip, good luck getting me out of the house after I get back, right? I'm in my house, turning on Netflix, with my wife, my 2 cats, and we are hanging. I am enjoying my own bed. I am enjoying my own couch, and I'm not an outdoorsman. Now, Brian Laundrie again said to have been someone that really loved being outdoors. Maybe it was normal for him to go on this van life road trip across the country and then return home and then go camping a few days later. Maybe that was normal for him. I can say that for me, and I think a lot of our commenters, that if you went on a cross-country road trip, you're loving, you're just digging your house. You're loving being at home. But also too, this is all under the assumption that I didn't lose my fiance on the road, that something didn't happen to my, because now again, under that scenario now, if I went on a cross-country road trip, van life, with my fiance, and I just got home, and she wasn't with me, and something terrible happened that potentially threatens the future, our future marriage, I am distraught. I am inconsolable, and I'm just locked into just the confines of my own home. I'm speaking for me there, but we don't know what happened on the road between Brian and Gabby. We don't know the circumstances of his return, and we certainly don't know what motivated him to go camping with his family. Maybe just maybe the Brian got home and Chris and Roberta said, oh my God, our son is so upset. We need to do something that makes him happy. Let's get him back outside. He needs to get outside. Let's take him on this camping trip. Let's go to Fort de Soto. It's one of our favorite places. Let's go and just get him in a place that he loves. Maybe that'll cheer him up. This is all plausible here, within the realm of possible, as we call it here. So
look, the $1 million question, which we don't have the answers to. What did he tell his parents when he came back with the van on September 1st? What was that first conversation like? What was his explanation to his parents as to why he is home with the van and Gabby is not with him? We don't know, JB. That is the $1 million question. What did the parents know? What were they told, and when? Right?
We have to remind our audience here, because there are people that are just so upset at the Laundrie parents here, and you at this stage of where we are in this story, you know, you have a feeling as to what happened, and I've talked to people in my own personal life that say, oh, this is what happened. This is what I think happened, right? And people are forming their own theories. But there's the of course the scenario where Brian returns home, says something terrible happened, but that the Laundrie parents, that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, just don't have as much information, don't have specifics on what happened to Gabby or where Brian is now, because Brian kept them in the dark. That is within the realm of possible here, Justin.
And so we don't know what attempts at communication were made during that week, if any, from Gabby's family to the Laundrie parents.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, there are a lot of things we don't know. We're going to follow the facts here. But again, we've talked a lot about that timeline between the Moab, Utah incident to August 27th. Now it's this period of the 1st to the 11th is fallen under a lot of scrutiny as people try to figure out where exactly did Brian and his family go in those days leading up to the missing person report being filed. And then again, we've talked a lot about the trip to the Carlton Reserve, which has prompted those massive searches, which still going on, targeted searches, JB, haven't really turned up anything there yet as we continue to look at the waterfront campground there in Fort DeSoto in southern Pinellas County. I believe it's about a 75 mile drive north of Northport where the family is, JB. But as you know, one of the most popular campsites, here in our greater Tampa Bay area.
Okay, so let's just follow up with our viewers about the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper that is in the air right now, continuing north of Clearwater now. So, way on the other side of Pinellas County. So this, from what we're seeing, the trajectory of the flight, everything right now looks like this was just a routine flight by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And now you could note that that it started at Fort DeSoto, but that could just be a routine flight pattern. And so there's nothing to say right now that chopper is in the air specifically connected to the search for Brian Laundrie. Let's take some more hashtag Hey Justin as well. We're gonna a lot of comments and questions are in the queue here from when Josh Benson was on the stream. But you can use hashtag Hey Justin, hashtag Hey JB.
All J names here today. JB.
A lot of J's on the stream here today. Let's take this one from Brandy Gardner. Hashtag Hey JB. When he is found, what will he be charged with, if
Great
anything?
question.
And so we have that.
So we know he's already a wanted fugitive for the bank account fraud. He is accused of unlawfully accessing about $1,000 from a bank account. I believe it's a Capital One account. So
charge is use of unauthorized access devices.
Thank you, JB. You had the federal indictment ready to go. So to answer Brandy's question, he is already wanted on a federal warrant out of the District of Wyoming. So again, we've talked about going from a person of interest to an actual, wanted fugitive. So to answer your point, Brandy, he would be taken in on that charge, go through his initial appearance in the federal court system, and then it's the question as if any additional charges will be filed. But so far, we know, Brandy, he is wanted for that unlawful access of the bank account. And they were specific in the press release, JB, to say activities after the death of Gabby Petitio. Those, I believe it's August 29th to September, or it's in that late August, early September timeframe is when he's accused of unlawfully using that bank account.
Let's also pass along here to our viewers, because we have some great viewers that join us here, everybody, on WFLA now. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, yes, is over the reserve, Myakkahatchee, Carlton Reserve. And so there is a chopper there over the air at Carlton Reserve. And there were search efforts there today, Justin. There were search efforts there today.
So they've scaled back, more targeted. They're trying, and we know we've talked about just the difficult terrain. I mean, that is a swampland. It's been a lot of rain down there in the Northport Venice area. So there have been these more targeted search areas that our crews on the ground have been tracking in the last almost 2 weeks now since the Laundries reported their son missing.
Again, JB Buno, Justin Shecker here with you live on WFLA Now. Let's take some more questions and comments. Hey, Brandy, thanks a lot for yours. Let's see here. Let's talk about this. Ty Packard, hashtag KJB. Have you heard anything of them considering Egmont Key National Wildlife Preserve, 2.5 miles left of Fort DeSoto? If you had access to a boat, it seems easy to escape. I have some thoughts on this, but do you want to go first here, Justin?
I was actually on the beach there yesterday, and one of our assignment editors said, "Hey, can you see Egmont Key?" And I kind of turned to the south, and you could see it off in the distance, one of the kind of many smaller islands. So again, that is a good place to potentially look. There's no definitive tie to that island there, JB, but as you know, it's one of those kind of isolated kind of destination spots as part of this larger destination park in Pinellas.
Let's get to so let me point out something about Egmont Key. This is, again, there are times where I can just kind of give everybody my sort of take on something. I've been to Egmont Key many times with my family. Okay, Egmont Key is a beautiful, beautiful spot. There's some history there. There's of course the lighthouse that is there. It is a beautiful place. It attracts a lot of attention because of how beautiful and how historic it is. It's not an ideal spot if you're trying to vanish off the face of the earth.
Nope.
It is a spot where people come and go all the time. And while you could make the argument that there are, and I've walked the entire area, the entire island, that there, or pretty much most of the entire island, that there are areas there where in theory you could hide. It's probably a great place for hide and seek. It's just not the most, just the amount of foot traffic there for being an island, it's pretty considerable. So it's not the most ideal place to go. And people here in the Tampa Bay area know that if you wanted to try to get away with something, I'm not talking about Brian Laundrie, I'm just talking in general. If you were trying to disappear, Egmont Key is not a place that you would go.
There's the ferry. I mean, it's a place people, you said your family been there many times. There was presumably people out there yesterday when I was out on the beach on the other side. So it's not an ideal hiding spot.
Let's get to some more questions and comments with hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJustin. Let's see here. Rayon Singleton, hashtag HeyJB, is the FBI had knowledge of Fort DeSoto. I'm sorry. If the FBI had the knowledge of Fort DeSoto, they would have been checking there instead of the wildlife reserve.
The only thing with this, a good point, is that this visit to Fort DeSoto, we have confirmed, did happen before the parents told police that they were at the other location, JB. So that is, why they focused where the parents said the last known spot they saw their son was the wildlife reserve down there. And again, the FBI is going to keep things tight to their vest, JB. They may know more than they've told us, and they may have known about this visit to the park before this became out yesterday.
Follow him on social media, folks. 8 on your sides. Justin Sheckard needing to get going here. You'll see him tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. Thanks a lot, Justin.
JB.
Appreciate it. Back here with you live on WFLA Now. So why is it just me? Okay, so let's explain this. Our entire team, of course, is on the air right now with team coverage on WFLA News Channel 8. And of course, our broadcast product, our evening newscast. We're in our 4 o'clock newscast. We have a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock newscasts, all coming up here on your NBC station, 8 on your side. We encourage you to watch. That's where you'll see faces like Josh and Justin and Nico and many of our other team members, Allison Henning, Walt Puteau, Masa Saidi, all of them here. So right now, because this is why we stream earlier in the day, we usually stream somewhere around lunchtime. Reason being is because more of our anchors and our reporters and investigative journalists are available to come sit down and join us. And it's a great time of day to kind of just talk to you. Maybe you're sipping your afternoon coffee, or maybe you're chomping down on a sandwich during your lunch break. It's a good opportunity for us to talk to you there. We're clearly live a little bit later on today. Might have an opportunity here to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But it's just me now. So use hashtag HeyJB, and it's a lot to do here all by myself, but I'll do my very best here to continue the conversation and address a lot of the questions and comments. And none has come in more than this one here from Mariah Huffman, hashtag HeyJB. Can you please address these questions about Brian in North Carolina? I've heard questions and comments about Brian being with his grandfather. This is all unconfirmed at this time. There is nothing to go off of based on any, of course, credible source of information. We've been talking here on the stream too about how common it is for there to be misinformation online. Misinformation can pop up here and there all the time, and there are flare-ups of misinformation. It's almost like a volcano. Like there will just be occasional flare-ups. Not to discredit it. We've had flare-ups that have actually, there's been some substance there, but we have to vet all the information that comes in, check the sources, check the reliability of that information. We're journalists. We're not speculative, people here online just kind of talking about what information could be out there. No, we of course vet the information that comes in. And this is why I bring up Meg's comment here. You might have found me on Twitter earlier, Megs Marie, hashtag HeyJB. Why I posted there was huge news and then there's nothing new. I never said on Twitter today, never said that there was huge news. I said that we had a search update. And yes, I said that there was an update, and there was updates here as far as the search efforts that are ongoing here. I was looking forward to having a conversation here with you. But let me make this clear about this portion of it. Okay. I've received a lot of attention of late. And there are people that have been following me across social media platforms, following me on my WFLAJB Instagram and Facebook and on Twitter. And I very much appreciate that. But I want you to look at the logo here in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. This is not JB Now. This is not the JB Show. This isn't JB Live. This is WFLA Now. And we are a team here. We are a team, and it's a great team. We are an award-winning team here with your NBC station here in Tampa, Florida. And I appreciate all the attention that I have received here. But me going live here with you isn't just me flipping a switch and being live. There's a process here, and we have to vet information. And when it comes to information that comes into our newsroom, there is a process, and we'll just kind of paint this picture here for you. It's almost like there's 10 boxes that you have to check before you can report information. And we're not the type of news station to take shortcuts. And if there's 9 boxes checked and 1 unchecked, that we can just report that. Oh yeah, we're 90% verified. No. 100% verified. That's why people have been following us, is because we come to you with the information that we can confirm and can report. And we can talk about things like Mariah here coming up here on screen and saying, can you address the questions about Brian in North Carolina? And we can tell you right now that a lot of what we're seeing here from North Carolina and what we're seeing here about Brian Laundrie being with his grandfather and all of this social media activity, this is just right now the product of this story continuing to be so scorching hot on social media that anything that sounds believable, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, people assume that it is a duck. And while it very well might be a duck, let's all keep ourselves rooted in reality here, because I've had so many people over the course of the week message me with this claim and that claim, and then it's quickly disproven like an hour or so later. So I'm not discrediting anything about North Carolina. I'm not discrediting anything about Brian Laundrie's the rumor or the gossip that being with a grandfather. I'm not saying that that's not true. What I'm saying is that right now it's not coming from a credible source of information, and until it does, it's not something that we can really entertain. So we'll continue to, of course, report the information that is reportable information, because we have standards here, and it's important that we maintain our standards here. So earlier on, when we were about to go live on stream, and I put out a tweet on Twitter, and we were right there ready to go live with information and talk about a search update here. I got word, JB, it's we have to stand down. And I have to follow here, of course, the direction of our team here at WFLA. So it's very, very important that we remember that this isn't the JB show. It isn't JB just, comes on here and does his thing. It's WFLA Now. If it's being reported by WFLA, it's on WFLA Now. And that's the purpose here and a little bit of the mission statement behind what we do. So thanks to all the comments, and I appreciate everybody that's been following me and looking to me on my social media accounts. I really appreciate it. But we're going to keep it real here with you, as real as we can, and try to, of course, differentiate ourselves from what you're seeing gossip and speculation-wise elsewhere on social media. Amber Morgan, #HeyJB. After he is caught, will he be watched so he doesn't run off again? He's absolutely going to be watched. In fact, he's going to be taken in on a federal arrest warrant. Okay, so what happens then? Okay, so if he's taken in on a federal arrest warrant, Brian Laundrie, then of course he can invoke his constitutional right to remain silent. They will present the evidence as to the charge, and then a judge will determine whether or not there's going to be bail and whether or not he can be free. And then the judge will, based on the circumstances of the charge against him, will determine whether or not he has to surrender his passport, and whether or not he can even bail out on that federal arrest warrant. But this is all things that we are going to. This is all, kind of the can down the road, so to speak. The first and foremost, has to be caught. And there's, this Fort to Soto search that has been ongoing by an independent investigation. And now that the FBI has a surveillance video, there's momentum here. I'm really looking forward to this story reaching its conclusion. I'm ready to be here with you live when that happens. Believe me, these are long days, a lot of work around the clock. This has been all anybody is talking about. Anywhere I go, anywhere I am, any platform I'm on. We were on Tracking the Tropics earlier. Okay, we were on Tracking the Tropics. That is our Wednesday streaming franchise where we talk about hurricane season. And 90% of our comments were about Brian Laundrie on a show that's focused on the weather. So we are very much anticipating, and I can just say for me, I'm looking forward to this story reaching its conclusion, but we're not there yet. I hope that there's momentum. I hope that there's something right here on the right side of your screen. I hope that there's something here, but we just can't say for certain. But I promise you this. I'll continue to report with as much compassion and accuracy as I possibly can, and we're not going away on this story. We're going to stay here with you and continue to report every development. And I never said that we were going to be live every day at noon. We try to be live in the middle of the day to accommodate most of our audience, but it can be difficult some days based on the information that comes in. And we try to do our very best. So for everybody watching right now, thank you for being with us at a bit of an unorthodox time here. The time now, 4:19 Eastern. Let's take this next one here from, let's see here. Take this one from Cassie. #HJB. So the FBI is searching at Carlton Reserve, but not at the campground. So the FBI, we don't know if the FBI, let me make this clear. We don't know if the FBI is actively searching here. The FBI isn't going to walk around with a sign that says, "We're the FBI. How you doing today?" They don't have to be here in marked vehicles. They don't have to be here in uniform. They could be in this video searching and being very discreet about their search efforts. It's very possible. And the FBI, again, is not going to just advertise that they're searching this area. They go about their business based on federal protocol, and they have a way of doing things. And it's one of the things I can tell you about the way that they do things is not to just put it on blast for the entire world to know about. So the FBI could be here. And the FBI, I would imagine, has been here at some point in time, whether it's weeks ago or a week ago or now, at this very moment. But we just don't know because that's the FBI and that's how they operate. And you want this to be like a TV show where the FBI is, you're in those meetings with the FBI and they have their big, whiteboard and they're going over all the leads and you want to be in that meeting. You want to be there. We've talked about, our commenters have brought up SVU and we've talked about SVU. You want to be there with Benson and Stabler. You want to be in those meetings with Ice-T, and you want to be there with Munch. You want to be there with all of them. You want to be there in those meetings, but you're not, because this isn't a TV show. This is reality. And in reality, the FBI maintains a high level of secrecy as to the investigations that they conduct. And the reason is because they don't want to compromise their ongoing investigation. Who would? That would be really dumb. It would be very dumb. So the FBI is staying secretive. And are they here? Maybe, but we just don't know. We just don't know. Danielle Wenger, #HJB, wondering why the Laundry's attorney stated the FBI was already aware of the camping trip from the 6th to the 7th. So why did it take for Dog to mention it to get surveillance? This is a question now. I'm glad that Danielle brought this up because let's again go through the timeline. Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for Brian Laundrie, has confirmed now to just about everybody, I mean, really the entire media sphere, he has confirmed that the Laundrie family went here, right side of your screen, Fort DeSoto, campsite 001 waterfront, the #1 waterfront site here, that campground, that they were there from the 6th to the 7th, as Danielle is saying here. And it was just yesterday, September 28th, and that is precisely 3 weeks later, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office sends the surveillance video from Fort DeSoto to the FBI. So here's what that means. That means that there's something there that's significant, or it's just a big fat nothing. Something there or a big fat nothing. And we just don't know. We just don't know. But I'd be very curious. You're never going to see that video. It would be a massive leak to see that video. You're never going to see it because it was handed from county law enforcement directly to federal law enforcement. And that's pretty ironclad. It's not really just going to randomly appear on social media. That would be shocking. I mean, shocking. And somebody would have their entire law enforcement career on the line because that would have meant that the handoff of that video from Pinellas County law enforcement to federal law enforcement, there would have been a leak, and they would investigate that leak, and that person would undoubtedly have their law enforcement career pretty much to a fair degree of certainty over, because of the sensitivity and of this situation that's ongoing here. I mean, that again, the FBI would view it as potentially compromising an ongoing investigation, an ongoing federal investigation, and they just wouldn't have any of it. So it would be an enormous no-no. I don't think we ever see that video. So to Danielle's question here, why did it take so long why did it take for Dog to mention it to get the surveillance? Well, it's now Dog the Bounty Hunter shedding light on it now makes this a thing. This surveillance video makes it a thing. So is it just the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office saying, get off our backs? We sent it to the FBI yesterday. Please leave us alone. Stop calling. We've got other crime and other responsibilities here in our jurisdiction. Or is it really, has it just been now exposed by Dog and his team, and now it's being escalated to the awareness of the FBI? I don't know. I do not know. Danielle, thanks for bringing up that question. It's not one that we can definitively answer, but it allows us to, again, just kind of talk about the process now. Danielle Marie Fee, #JB, need thermal imaging of the entire campground, then people on the ground to confirm campers. So let's clear thermal imaging technology. I spoke to Josh Taylor of Northport Police. That is an active and thorough part of their investigation. Thermal imaging technology. But we don't know if thermal imaging technology has been used yet, or even considered yet, for Fort DeSoto. We know it's been used at Myakkahatchee. We know it's been used at Carlton Reserve. But is it being used here? We do not know. But I mean, look at that little island right there, right? That's really difficult. That one right there, that's really difficult to comb through, and that would be a rough life for somebody living there, like Brian Laundrie. That's not like that's not Cancun. That is just a wooded, wet, random tree island there off of Fort DeSoto, and you wouldn't exactly want to live in that spot. But wouldn't it be a lot easier to see from the air using thermal imaging? Absolutely. If we hear anything about that, we'll, of course, pass that along here to you. Allison Johnson, #AJB. Why haven't the parents been charged at this point for withholding information? Two answers to this, Allison. First and foremost, we don't know that they're withholding information. We don't know. We don't know. From everything that we have been told, and it started with Josh Taylor of Northport Police, they are cooperating with Brian and it being a missing persons case, that they are cooperating with law enforcement. So why haven't the parents been charged? Well, right now they're cooperating in the missing persons case that is their son, and they have the right to remain silent. You can't charge them with anything unless you have direct evidence that they are assisting with Brian's disappearance, and even then, it would have to be such tangible evidence that couldn't be. Now, you can summon them in front of a grand jury and try to compel them to talk and reveal more, but right now they're cooperating with the investigation, and they have the right to look at the grand jury and say, we invoke our constitutional right to remain silent. So I know it's frustrating for people, but that's kind of where we are now in this investigation. Alistine Cleveland, #HeyJB. As the FBI mentioned, if they're looking for his body or they think he's still alive, the FBI isn't mentioning anything. If there's a theme here, I want you to take out of this here, folks. The FBI doesn't talk. It's not their thing. They'll respond to comments, but it'll be, we can neither confirm nor deny. We have no comment at this time. This is an ongoing active investigation. There will be no further comment on this matter. I can read you every potential response to any inquiry that a station like ours would have. And I'm telling you that right now that the FBI just isn't going to release information with an ongoing federal investigation of this magnitude. Is he alive? Is he deceased? We just don't know. This is interesting. Yeah, Paul's passing this along. Paul just texted me. Look at that. So, talking about how the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I want to show this to our viewers. This is from Paul Amison, who just did this. That's our Eagle 8 HD pilot. I don't know if I can bring him in. I can't. The picture of him. But our WFLA Now viewers know Paul. And I want to show this to you. I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to throw it here up on my camera. This is the chopper that is flying over Carlton Reserve at this time. The Myakkahatchee, the primary search area, where, of course, everyone was saying, oh, he's not there, he's not there. But there is something very curious unfolding at Myakkahatchee at Carlton Reserve here, and I'm going to play this back here for you. This is from Paul Amison shooting me a screen recording of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office chopper site now. I want you to watch here very, very closely here, and I'll try to do this here almost like mirrored. I'm going to play this here on my screen. Okay, look at this. Look at the flight pattern now. So the Sarasota County chopper took off and is really focused on that one spot. Look at that. That's a time lapse. And look, they went back and they circled over it again, and they went back and they went over it again. So they spent a lot of time over that one spot there. Oh, then they went back, and now they're coming back here to that spot. So that is a target area right now for the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, assisting in the search by the FBI. But you saw there on the flight pattern, kind of the chopper went and ooh, and just kind of circled over that one spot many times. So what does that mean? We'll try to get an update. I've been talking about Eagle 8 HD's Paul Lamison here for you folks. He is, of course, our wonderful chief photographer here at WFLA, and he is the voice of Eagle 8 HD, our chopper here. That's what you're looking at here in the center of your screen. No one knows Tampa Bay from the air like Paul Lamison. No one knows it. He knows Fort DeSoto so well. He knows Egmont Key so well. He knows all these barrier islands incredibly well. This is a man who has snapped 4,000 images and posted them all to social media on the Eagle 8 HD social media accounts. He knows, he's been here for decades. He knows Tampa Bay like anyone, more than anyone from the air. And I say that because he is now going to join us and break down Fort DeSoto and show us campsite 001, show us the waterfront campsite here, and show you some specifics here that only Paul would really pick up on. Paul's just a precious resource for us here at WFLA because there are things that he sees from the air that others don't. So what we're going to do, this is a report that he filed earlier today. We're going to play this back here for you. In the meantime, as we're listening to Paul here, okay, I'm going to be looking through all the hashtag HeyJB comments here right now. This is if you want your comment to be featured here on screen, if you would like for us to talk about it and for us to feature it here on screen and get our audience here also involved in the conversation here as well. I want you to start using hashtag HeyJB right now so I can add as many comments and questions to the queue here. And I'll start looking for them right now as we introduce Paul. So here's Paul Lamison, everybody, from
Well, I think we have our own chat going on right here. It's like I'm watching like a vacation video or something, you know, like where they advertise those timeshares. So what did we learn today? It's not the JB show. He got his hair dyed. He likes s'mores. If he was on a long vacation, he would be in bed right now watching Netflix and laying with these cats. That this place is good for hide and seek. Would you get what, Big Eyes? What'd you get?
I got a big laugh.
It's not the JB show. It's not the JB show. But hey, it looks like a great place to vacation. He does have 2 cats.
And his crystal ball seems to be a little foggy.
He said the video was given from the county to the feds. And then he also said, as professional journalists, they do not speculate. And we did learn that he truly loves Salabanda. We did learn that. I cannot wait for that Amazon wish list. But he truly does speculate. When he says, you know, FBI doesn't talk. They'll make comments, but, you know, they don't talk. And like he's shaking his head, they don't talk. I'm like, oh, they don't talk to you, JB, but I guarantee they talk to someone.
I think he's trying to cover for everybody getting upset at him because that was kind of like baiting, you know?
Well, I mean, he did stand us up today, if everyone remembers, which we still had a fun time, not a big deal. I also would like to know who got in his ass, because old Walt's on vacation. He obviously split, okay?
Yeah.
But for him to say over and over, this is not the JB show. WFLA, we're award-winning NBC affiliate, and he went on and on. I'm like,
Yeah. He got called in by the big guy.
I think so. I wonder what kind of cats JB has. Anyone have an idea? Oh, Sal said he was bringing some soup to her today.
Oh, good, good. This is funny how, they poo-pooed that idea of the park and said, oh, that didn't happen. Then we come up with actual registration information that they were there.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden now, well, maybe it's credible. All the while, everybody is beating down the ears of dog,
Oh, I'm with you too, Molly. I'm glad they cover it too. We keep things light in here. I do think it's odd that they haven't searched there until Dog the Bounty Hunter brought it up. Would they really spend that type of money to prove he's not there?
No. You know what's really strange is people are afraid to give information to the police and like the FBI because they don't want to get dragged into the whole mess. But they will go to someone like Dog and give him information because there's no repercussions there. He just follows the lead and he keeps them anonymous. So we need more people like that will do that to help solve these cases because, you just don't want to get, first thing you know, people are making you the target because you spoke up because you saw something.
Well, and we've seen it in other cases too. People are afraid to speak up. You know?
Exactly. And you can't blame them. Nobody wants to be, thrown under the bus like that.
No, because the internet does what the internet does, and they'll just drag the hell out of them. But it's like, John Walsh is going, he's going to do like a little bleep tonight about Summer Wells, and he's going to get a lot of phone calls, ones that no one felt comfortable about making to the TBI or to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson. The same thing I think happened here.
Yep. And I'm anxious to see what's going to come of that after tonight. How many people call and say something to John?
I do know this. And if everybody wants to write this down, please, I'll give you time to get a pen and paper. John Walsh will not talk about how he likes s'mores, his Netflix affliction, laying in bed with his cats. He won't talk about hide and seek. That was funny. I said, where's Walt?
Walt left town. He didn't want them to tell him it's not the Walt show.
I couldn't believe that.
Oh, that's hilarious. And he's kind of repeating what he was told because he's having to say that, but he's kind of ticked about it too. Yep.
Yeah, I could just imagine that meeting with my superior. It's not all about you, girlfriend. So quit strutting your stuff around here. Love your hashtag and everything, but there's other people doing some work. Amy said she came for Walt. Yep.
It's disappointing, but he's probably got better things to do.
Well, Walt will be back. I have a feeling that he had to take probably some personal leave because he's probably like, you know what? I can't do this. It's one thing sitting here watching hurricanes, but watching this show, can't do it. If I hear hashtag, hey, Walt, one more time, I'm going to slit my throat. You don't know what's behind that hashtag.
Oh, goodness.
Well, guys, it was another fun episode. Love chatting with you. We'll be back tomorrow. I mean, if something happens and they drag, Brian out of here, we'll jump back on. But it looks like right now they're DJ, can you hear us? A couple people are saying they can't hear anything.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can hear you. You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Well, we kept everyone tied up this afternoon, and so, and obviously nothing's going to happen here. If you guys want to keep chatting, keep chatting.
Yeah, just more circling around is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So you guys join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. We have a show about summer wells. Anything that happens with Gabby, we'll jump right back on. You will get no notice. Not going to lie. You'll get none unless you're in our Discord. And that's if you catch it in there. And we have the best chat. Love the comments. Funny. Man, you guys have me rolling every day.
It was really fun.
It is fun. Don't forget to sub the channel and hit the bell so you get your notification. And we will see you tomorrow. Hey, if anybody wants to join the Discord, just check the About tab and send me an email and we'll get you a link. And in the meantime, we will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.